Alles. ...38 Leute sind schon da. Alles. Okay, I think we're live. Boom, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Really excited for this one. Another collaboration with an amazing content creator out there. I think we need more of those. And yeah, many of us have also discovered Osmosis and Cosmos DeFi opportunities, which I think we're still very early on, but there's still a lot to come. So I'm really excited to be joined by Danku R today. But before we get into his journey, introductions, and all these kind of things, tell us in the chat if everything works fine with the sound, with the quality, with everything. And also, we'll embed some questions of you guys throughout the stream. We don't really have an agenda. We just talk about Cosmos and everything. But yeah, Danku, thanks for joining. How's everything going?
Thank you for the invitation, right? Everything is good for me. Probably not as good as for you, just coming back from the beach, right? Here it's midnight, it's cold, it's dark in Germany, which I think is the funniest that you are also from Germany, right? It's kind of, how could it be that both of us are just kind of at least usually living in Germany, which is totally fine. And thank you for the invitation, right? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's true. I think we talked about this yesterday when we had a little call, that I think we're like the next generation of content creators. Obviously, you have a lot of traders out there, a lot of people that have been around for years. But I think you and I have a very similar style in terms of making tutorials how to actually use DeFi, right? I think a lot of people, especially the community, cosmonauts, they really appreciate that. Because I remember when I started with all this, I had no clue what, where to click, how that works. So I taught everything myself. But just having a place where you can learn from others and avoid mistakes, maximize eligibilities for airdrops and all these things, which in Cosmos there is a lot. I think that helps a lot. So yeah, there's already people saying the Germans, Gruß aus der Schweiz. What's up? Yeah, it's funny that we're both Germans. There's a couple of more. I mean, the guys that run the DeFi Times account and podcast, and they're also doing great things. They're also Germans. So yeah, we're back. We're doing cool things here. But yeah, maybe you can start to share your personal journey. I think you joined crypto in the last year or two or something. So maybe you can share your introduction to crypto and what got you hooked in that industry in the first place.
Yeah, I liked your intro. You're saying that kind of we're like a little bit of I think not only us as content creator, but a lot of new people, right? Usually, I think you've seen over the last years, new bull run, new people come, but also now there are a lot of different applications and really reasons why people are here. So I can tell you that already in 2017, I got my hands on my first Bitcoin. Back then, I had no clue what this is all about. Somebody told me, hey, you can make money there. So I bought a few Bitcoin. But after a few weeks, I got rid of them because I was too nervous. I didn't get it right. It's kind of going up and down in price. I just started to work for, I think, 1.5 years after studying. And so I said, no, this is nothing for me. I'm out. And then I left it aside. But I didn't really dig into what Bitcoin means, right? And then 2020, my brother was investing because of a friend of his. And he said, dude, you really need to look into this. I think you will enjoy it. There's so much into this, right? It's not only about buying a number go up. Look into this. And I said, oh, maybe, right? Then Christmas came around in 2020 and I got more interested, right? Because the bull run was running, the numbers were going up. And then I started my research, right? I'm a big podcast fan. Maybe you know Anthony Pompliano, the POM podcast, or Peter McCormack. Yes, Bitcoin Maxis, but they have a lot of great guests that they're usually discussing different things. And I started to read. And then I started to see the beauty of Bitcoin, right? It's like, I told myself, how the heck did you not see that for so long, right? That we are really changing here something, that we are creating fair money. That's why I'm still investing deeply into Bitcoin, because I believe it, right? I think Bitcoin and the other coins have just different reasons, right? And Bitcoin is the real money. And then you have all the other amazing blockchains, which just have different purposes as itself. And then quickly I got into this corner of how the heck can we use then Bitcoin if I think it makes sense for money long term and it solves so many issues with the dollar in the whole world, right? And the world currency of a dollar. If tomorrow I go to the grocery and everything is double the price or half, right? So I asked myself, could we make it stable So I got into stable coins, and then I found Luna, right? Which you basically then have Luna on the one side and the stable coins on the other side. So basically Bitcoin to fiat. It's more or less how I saw that system. And I went into that, and also a lot of other chains, right? I'm a multi-chain fan, right? I am invested into Cosmos, Solana, Osmo. I mean, you know that. And then I went into Twitter, maybe like you also did, right? Twitter is the rabbit hole for DeFi and crypto. And then I did a flowchart for Mirror, right? Mirror is this kind of mirrored assets on the Terra blockchain to explain how you can invest with the new Mirror version 2. And somebody asked me, could you do a video on that, explaining it? And I said, yeah, sure, I can. Maybe. I've never done this before. I go on YouTube and I show my charts. And it seems that people liked it. They asked me, can you do a video on this? Can you do on that? So I kept on it, right? And I enjoyed a ton. And I decided now to basically resign from my job and now hopefully do this full time. But it's a journey. Long story short, I'm here now. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. And everybody also make sure to subscribe to Danko's YouTube channel. It's Danko_R. You're almost at the 20,000 subscriber mark. So man, it's only a 5x and you're at 100K. So that's cool. And also on Twitter, you're super active there as well. Same handle, Danko_R. Let me actually share that right now in the chat so people can
Thank you, sir.
Follow you. Give me 1 second. Yeah, you also, Aaron is already saying that you're pumping out that Osmosis content. I think you covered it already a couple of months ago. We can talk about Osmosis later. But maybe first off, I mean, that's a cool journey. Basically, intrinsically from your curiosity and from your self-interest to get down into crypto. Bitcoin, obviously, for many has been the first rabbit hole to fall into, right? And I still love Bitcoin for what it does, right? Especially in El Salvador, you can see firsthand people are actually using it in their daily lives. And I think from the monetary policy perspective, Bitcoin is still like unique in so many ways. The way it got rolled out, right? Kind of like without having any pre-mine, without having any VCs or investors, like this pure organically building and improving also of the technology. But then from there, and that's where most of these Bitcoin maxis get stuck, there's much more that opens up a whole new world of DeFi or even the NFT space and so many more things that are behind that just the technology enables, right? And you already teased a little bit about Mirror and synthetic assets, which I think it's a trillion-dollar industry that we're just figuring out how to actually deal with that. But I wanted to ask, how's your YouTube and content creator journey going so far? I mean, you basically started from this one video and then it came to another, and now you're building this brand as the kind of like go-to source and resource for many people to learn about Terra DeFi as part of also the broader Cosmos ecosystem. So how has that journey been for you? And what were maybe some of the lessons that you learned along this content creator space journey?
Yeah. I mean, thank you, right, for saying that maybe I'm becoming that source. I'm happy if I can just get people some insights because as you said, I think DeFi is more about use cases, right? That's also just quickly to reiterate the Bitcoin topic. I think Bitcoin, the people are about decentralization, but we just need permissionlessly, right? So if we have apps that can be permissionlessly worked out based on the smart contract, that's truly amazing, I think. So the journey itself, I mean, I started covering Mirror protocol, and then of course I focused because I knew Anchor, I knew Mirror, doing about Terra, and then I already kind of crossed paths with Taiki Maeda, right? So shout out to Taiki, because I jumped into a Twitter space. I think he has just done one in his life, right? He just was bored, he did it, and then after 4 or 5 videos we started talking, and he said, dude, you need to go multi-chain, don't focus on Terra, don't be a Terra maxi. And I said, dude, I'm not a Terra maxi at all, right? I'm a big multi-chain fan. I just started with 5 videos. But this is just the ecosystem where I really feel home, right? And I'm so lucky, you also know this, everybody's so approachable, right? So I'm really happy that I got in contact with so many great founders, so many great teams, so many great ecosystem participants, and we're just sharing alpha to each other. So that's my home base. But then I mean, I'm just covering basically whatever right now covers my attention, right? So Osmosis covered my attention months ago. So I did a video on Osmosis and on the Kepler wallet specifically. Then I also covered Solana specifically, because on the Solana run, there was also, it seems, nobody truly covering it, right? So I jumped over, because what I'm doing on my day-to-day DeFi journey, I'm just trying to bring it out to the people. And then lesson learned in terms of, I'm just lucky, right? I'm happy that people enjoy the content. I try to come back to every comment. It's getting a little bit more difficult now, but yeah, for myself, I think I have a little bit of a different style, right? I do my slide decks. I just explain the stuff by kind of going step by step. It seems people like it, and I just keep on going as honest as possible. I try to stay ad-free. I think you are too, right? I'm not taking any paid content. I want to really do it as objective as possible. It's sometimes difficult because it breaks my heart, because of course people are reaching out to you and saying, hey dude, could you do a video about that? And I said, look, I try to go this way. I told many people that maybe I cover you, but maybe not, right? Because I don't want to take sides. I don't want to change now my PFP profile. Thank you for making me an NFT, but 10 others did this, so I'll try to stick to that, which is probably a lot of people and say, what an asshole, which I accept, right? Sorry for demonetizing you here. He's doing whatever he wants, but I believe in this kind of, trying to be as objective from my perspective, so not getting paid off or paid out. I don't know how you see that. Probably you're seeing the same challenges for yourself, right? You get probably approached by people, right?
Yeah, no, it's the same thing, and I turn down most of all these. Many of them I don't respond. There's people that hit me up with everything from TRX cloud mining to the latest DeFi or NFT projects, and I mean, I think some of maybe 0.5% of them are actually legit, and I would love to help them, to bootstrap their community, and they have great ideas. There's so many great ideas out there. I'm not that type of person also, and I think you're the same, that believes that everything out there is a scam, right? Like many of the chain maximalists believe, but still it's hard to catch up, and also there's so much shills out there, and it's just impossible to keep up with everything. But yeah, that's why the way I do it, I got my first sponsorship from Osmosis, which I think is an incredible project and a great team. I met them also in the Lisbon Cosmoverse conference, and I think that helps me also to go deeper in fewer projects, right? Because I don't want to spread myself too thin. Similar, like you said, and somebody already dropped it here. You're the Mr. Luna and I'm the Mr. Atom. Even though we stand for that, I don't think we necessarily, that doesn't mean that we are not open for other things, at least to learn about or to get an insight on. But I think just focusing on Terra in your case and Cosmos Atom in my case, which means that also a lot of protocols underneath are attached to this, right? For you, it's Anchor and Mirror. That's your home. For me, it's more Osmosis and Stargaze and Osmosis and Omniflix and all these kind of things. I think that's also good, because then you can go deeper into that and become more of an expert in that field, right? So yeah, that's how I see it. But so what got you hooked in Terra in the first place, and when did you join the community?
Joined, I think truly the community should be around April or May, before the big crash, right? Where everybody probably then could have said bye-bye, right? Where people lost a lot of money also, right? Let's be honest. It's always interesting if people say, just wait before the bear market arrives and then you'll see that people will leave. Well, I say, take a look at just Terra as an ecosystem. I think it lost 85% of the value. People are still here, right? It's kind of, they already, if you survive that, you survive probably a lot of things out there. And just, which got me hooked, is kind of this topic of permissionless stablecoins. But not only the dollar, basically the how Terra works is that they can mint not only stablecoins, basically every asset. That's also how Mirror them works, a mirrored asset out there. I'm looking forward, I mean, once you come back, if ever you come back in your paradise over there, right, that you could pay them with EUT in Europe, right, that we could go to our grocery stores, Rewe, Aldi, whatever it is, and I'm just paying with an app there. We don't have credit cards where we're paying credit card fees. No, we are not paying, Rewe is paying, or the grocery stores right out there. So way more efficiency. So I thought this is just an amazing possibility to onboard the masses, because as said, the masses still have this bad feeling about crypto. That's why I don't like to say crypto anymore. It's more like Web 3.0. I explain it more like, hey, you can own the internet, and that's kind of gets people truly interested, right? That's where it's not only about money, it's about way more in the internet that you own. And then if they tell, so how can I use that? And I can say, well, you know what? Probably soon you'll be able to pay on a grocery store, right? With euro, but with all the benefits that is around that. And what if I tell you that if you're holding your stuff on your mobile app, you're getting 20% on top just for holding it there? Sounds interesting? Now we're talking, right? So this is which got me interested, this whole kind of permissionlessly owning stuff, which is around Web 3.0. And I think we're not even understanding this right now. A lot of people know that, let's say, while I'm holding a ton of NFTs, and I'm also working myself on an NFT project, I'm very vocal against kind of JPEG and NFTs in terms of NFTs is way more than a picture, right? It's just a data point which shows that you own something. This will be huge in the future, and we're right now not even understanding how huge that will be. I mean, maybe in the future, every picture you take is an NFT, right? Because you own really the rights of that picture. Right now, impossible with the technology, but just think about 20 years ago. We didn't have an iPhone, we didn't have Amazon, kind of, the people would say we would come from 1,000 years in the future. So usually it goes exponential. And that's what got me hooked with everything. And then, lunatics are weird, right? In a positive way. They're a very strong community. I know Cosmos has also a very, I would say, nerdy community. I was in Lisbon, we passed, but I was just for a few minutes on the Cosmos verse, and I didn't want to stop you from helping organizing everything, because I arrived just on that day. I hopped in, I saw the secret stuff, and I went away, right? So we literally,
I didn't know that. That's funny.
I was just a few minutes there, and great stuff what you did. And that's cool, because no other stable coin kind of gets pushed by a community, right? That people wanted to see out there. USDC, USDT, I mean, they have no community. Why would they? But the whole ecosystem of Terra pushes stable coins. And when they push stable coin, they pump their own back positively. We all work in the same direction. That's why this community is so strong. It's everybody positively works in one direction. That's which I like so much. This, I know it's a meme, whack me, but I truly believe in it, right? It's not against each other. It's you are for Atom. I'm here for maybe the Terra ecosystem or Tor. I would like to cover more in the future. And we also work together, right? There is so much room to grow. It doesn't make sense that I work now against Cryptocito. I mean, why?
Yeah.
This is what I enjoy so much. I don't know how you see that.
Yeah, and I had the founder of Region Network, Gregory Landua, on my show a couple of times. And he really, what he said once really resonated with me. That was months ago. He said, let's out-collaborate the competition, right? And not out-compete each other, trying to have the better branding, the better logo, the better community or market cap or whatever. But rather to say, hey, we're all in the same boat, trying to build this Web3, trying to actually, get rid of centralized finance, the banks, the evil traditional financial system, and just build this together. And I think that makes so much more sense. And I think that's the ethos that you can see across many Cosmos projects, which Terra has been absolutely killing it. Like you said, with the algorithmic stablecoin UST, and also with the whole kind of flow that you can mint assets also through Anchor, and you can have these crazy yields that you don't get anywhere else. So yeah, maybe you can go a little bit deeper, because I don't think I have covered Terra deeply on my channel yet, but maybe give an overview of how Terra works. Obviously, you already teased it a little bit, but maybe more in simpler terms. What's the connection between Luna and UST, and also how you can have, I think it's 20% APR on your UST if you deposit in on Anchor, right? So maybe you can share some insights on how that works behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think the first piece, which is already confusing a lot of people for Terra, is kind of the blockchain is called Terra. The main native coin is called Luna, right? So basically you have, it's like Cosmos and Atom, right? But you have usually Ethereum is ETH, but here it's kind of the same. Terra is the blockchain, the native coin is Luna. And which is so beautiful about this is this seigniorage process that basically you can burn Luna, and with the value that are burned, you can then mint different stable coins. So let's say one Luna today is $100. you burn 1 Luna and then you're getting $100 in then the stablecoin UST if you want to mint the dollar stablecoin. Now, how this is hold to the peg is basically by arbitraging, right? So if there is demand, probably UST will go over $1, so 1.001. So one of the arbitragers comes, burns a little bit more Luna and takes then the benefit out of there because he's putting more UST on the market. So basically he's taking the benefit of the arbitrage. Same works in the other direction, right? If the demand for the stable coins goes down, Luna can also be minted, right? And the stable coin is burned. So it's a true market mechanism of back and forth. That's why you see then, if there is more demand for stable coins, more Luna needs to be burned. If the demand for Luna on the market because of trading, because of other DApps is still the same, but we have less, number go up, right? That's why it's such a beautiful system. If you truly believe that stable coins will drive and decentralized stable coins, not like USDT, which can also froze your account or can froze your account. We have seen this just a few days ago. I think 160 million USDT has been frozen on Ethereum. That cannot work with a UST because it's decentralized. So if more and more UST is minted, we have seen it. We have hit 10 billion just before New Year's Eve. Then Luna will just go up in price. So everybody who is holding Luna just benefits in believing that more stable coins are coming. And now one of the first DApp that went live on the Terra ecosystem is Anchor, which I think is just a beautiful, beautiful marketing mechanism for UST, because they're basically saying, hey, we're saving accounts, you get 20% on your stablecoin UST. So, well, yeah, people get interested. How does it work? It's a money market, right? So on the other side, you have people that put down their collateral like Luna or now Ethereum on Anchor, then they can borrow against it. And with the incentives from the staking rewards from, let's say, Luna or Ethereum, and also the different interest from the people that are borrowing, the 20% is paid in the front end. Right now, you see kind of the disbalance. We have a little bit too many people getting the 20%. So there's a yield reserve, which goes down, but it's just going up and down over time, right? And that's how the 20% is paid out. And it's pretty strong because now there are more and more like, let's say, neobanks coming, like Cash DeFi, and saying, hey, I have a credit card here, which will also come soon in Germany, in the US. And if you hold something on that credit card, you get 20%. Because in the background, Anchor protocol is working. I mean, this is wild. If people catch up in the real world to 20%, we have negative in Germany right now in interest in the bank. So this is a game changer. And then this is one of the, they call it Lego blocks, right, that you have right now in the Terra community. There are so many apps that now went live, like also on Cosmos are going live. So we have now a Nexus protocol is live. We have Apollo. We have now Astroport, which is a big DEX, which is probably competing with Osmosis long term. We have soon Prism going live, where you can refract assets into a principal and a yield asset down. So, for example, Atom has then just the price part and the yield part, just a ton of things which is coming. But I think the main mechanism is we want more stable coins to be minted, right? Which right now DeFi needs anyway. And if that happens, it's good for the Luna ecosystem or the Terra ecosystem, and number go up for all the holders. Let's be honest, that's still the big case out there. I hope I could give an overview.
No, that's good. I really appreciate that. So you already said potentially this could also be embedded in our real economies. So what are your views on institutional DeFi? I think that's a term that got coined maybe in the last 6 months, especially, maybe even since a year, people talk about it, but so far we haven't really seen any major bank or institution to really embed one of these protocols yet, at least not at scale. I think Aave, they launched Aave Pro, which is tailored for institutions. How do you think? What do you think about institutional DeFi? Do you think that's still a giant driver that could bring DeFi to the masses?
I have never asked you before. What have you worked before, or kind of what you were working in a normal company, right? Before you decided to go full time, right? So probably you know how slow companies are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know in crypto a week is a year, right? So we kind of what happened in a week, but in real world companies, and I'm still right now working part-time in my old company, end of February, I'm really completely out. I see day to day that it's just moving because it's so big, makes sense, kind of literally slow. And finance and those decisions because of legal, even slower. So that's why I think this is all still either brewing in the background and happening. The only piece which I know for sure, because they announced it, I think it was beginning of November, is Arrington, right, which created now a fund which will be based on Anchor protocol, right? They call it the Anchor Yield Fund. And I think it's about 100 million that they want to put in there with qualified investors, which is crazy because if you check out the average performance of one of the big investors on TradFi, none of them almost gets to 20%. And now they just get 20% by default, right? Say, hey, dude, there you go, right? 20%. Great job that you worked your ass off for years. I'll just give it to you for free. So I guess they say it's a scam, right? They say, kind of, how does this work? And it's a fair question, right? I think we need to, that's why we need to talk about really how those stuff is working. But it is working. So, I mean, I don't know if you have seen other people talking about this or in Cosmos, if there are more institutional investors, but Anchor is, of course, pulling them in because of the 20%.
Yeah, I think we will see one project I'm really excited to launch is Umi. They also just announced a bridge, or basically a collaboration with Composable Finance to also connect the Polkadot ecosystem with Cosmos. And what they're doing is cross-chain lending, basically Aave, just IBC enabled, Tendermint powered, faster and interoperable. And I think Umi could be one of the big players that also drags in a lot of institutional interest into the Cosmos ecosystem. And it's all beneficial to each other, right? So if Umi succeeds, it will also spill over to Terra technology because it's all built on the Cosmos SDK, right? Eventually, it all goes down to Cosmos technology and IBC. So I think that's really cool. Somebody just asked, what do you said? Anchor? Anchor? No, this is the Anchor, ANCOR.
Exactly.
So Anchor, I think the ANKR, I think these guys are doing Ethereum liquid staking or something like that. But we're talking about this Anchor, Anchor protocol. They also have the native coin in which you get the yield, the 20%, right? So you basically
you get it.
Oh, you get it in UST. Oh, okay, nice. So you get it in UST, even better.
Yeah. That's the why. Also, I think this works, right? In terms of it's not like Osmosis is one of the rare exceptions where you have a farming token which is going up because of the beauty of how Osmosis is built as an own blockchain. But usually you have this what we call farm and dump, which I think is also a little bit unfair to the protocols because they need to dilute, they need to diversify and decentralize at the beginning, right? So they need to push out tokens. But here you put down UST, you get UST, which I think so truly in a year you get 20% APY.
That's crazy, man. Imagine you deposit 1,000 euros in your bank right now in Germany. You said it's negative, right? So you have to pay for it instead of just figuring out to, even now you can do it through Kepler or the Terra station and deposit it there, and you get 20%, which is for like the top fund managers. I remember like a couple of years ago when I was not in crypto, like achieving 6-7% with like really, deep, well-connected networks, you can maybe achieve that. But now you just click once and you make 20% in stable coins. Is absolutely crazy. But still, at the same time, and you also, I like that about you, you always disclaim, you say, hey guys, this is still early stage experimental technology. Obviously, things can always go wrong. We never know what's going to happen. Crypto is still wild west. So always treat that with caution and don't go all in with your entire life savings, right? Besides the risk that there's technological aspects, another risk I think is also custody, right? So a lot of people, they have poor key management. I get messages from people maybe once a week. They got hacked. They sent, they fell for one of these Telegram scams or comments on even under our YouTube videos. So you have to be really, really, really careful with these things. But so what is your daily bread? What is your daily activities that you do? Are you mostly just on Anchor, or what is the Terra dApps that you're using on a daily basis or weekly basis? I don't know.
Terra apps as the same. So Anchor, yes, because it's my saving account, right? So all the stable coins I'm just holding on Anchor because why should I not get 20% on them? And I'm of course still holding a lot of stable coins because you never know when a new opportunity is coming, right? You have an IDO, so a new protocol is launching, you want to get your head tokens on that. You see a new opportunity of farming somewhere, I need stable coins, right? So I'm using Anchor protocol, I think, on a daily basis, just as a saving accounts, right? In and out. And then right now, of course, all the DEXs, because if I need a token, I'm usually DCAing into L1s like Luna, but also an Atom on the other side. So I'm using right now Astroport a lot as a DEX, which is pretty new because it has deep liquidity. So meaning the swaps are pretty good. And I mean, next week, Prism will go live. I will use that hardcore. And I'm farming on different protocols, like Nexus, I'm using a ton. I think that's it on the Terra side. And then I need to say I'm most of the day active on DeFi Kingdom. So I need to quest there. I need to farm there. So that's truly one piece. And then I'm on so many different, I'm on Osmosis every day, right? For sure. And I'm lately, because of all the airdrops, man, I need to do so much on Cosmos. I cannot go out there. The Kepler wallet is my new home. It's amazing.
But there's also a lot of airdrops in Terra, right? You get these daily, or is it daily or weekly, Anchor airdrops and Mirror?
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of kind of Luna you need to have staked to get a reasonable amount even to claim it is like high. I think if you stake under 500 Luna, it's not really even relevant to really claim them over time. We have now new solutions like Stata, where you also have auto compounding of your staking rewards. And then you can also claim them all together with one transaction, because if not, if you have like 5 or 6 different airdrops, it's getting expensive. And they're not as big as right now for the Cosmos ecosystem, where you truly right now have just a few entry points, which Atom stakers and Osmosis stakers or LPs, and they are getting huge amounts. This is completely wild. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of dollars I've got in the last 2 weeks just because of Hua and I don't know, kind of all the different tokens on Stars was, right? Then there was Desmos just a few weeks back, which I claimed now because it was super complicated. And also with the keys, right, that you had to put in there. So I said, no, not now. But they fixed it later on. So yeah, that's so I think the airdrop stuff is right now way more interesting on Cosmos, because the staking APRs on almost every project on Cosmos is wild. And you know, I think people just stick to those tokens, right? Because everything is an on chain, so you need the proof of stake, also the security. I think it's a huge difference if you have a protocol on top of a blockchain, like on Terra, or if every protocol is their own chain. Why would you give away kind of a basis of something that truly will capture the value? Every L1 truly captures the value, right? So I'm surprised, like Stars, everybody was assuming a dump, right? It's like an amazing dump 2 days ago, but the price of Stars is still super solid, right? I staked mine, I provided liquidity, I'm happy getting more Stars. I even hold my Hua, I'm honest, right? I stake my Hua, you never know.
Well, you can, there's good news. You guys can also delegate to Cryptocito. I'm also running nodes. The community has asked for this, so we just spun up a node 2 days ago. But Chihuahua, for those who don't know, the first Cosmos-based meme coin, right? The dog coin. And literally it says in their tagline on Twitter, the first useless meme coin on Cosmos or something like that. I don't even know who's behind that. I'm trying to get them on my channel. I think they also are down to come. That would be really fun. But yeah, I mean, I think this is to prove the technology. And also, man, this thing almost hits a cent. I think it's at 1/8 of a cent right now. So the airdrop is worth a lot of money. I just checked the numbers on mapofzones.com. They have more than 10,000 weekly active users right now. So for a useless meme coin, right? But
did you get the validator stuff? Because I didn't know about that validator stuff. Kind of, was it 1 million Hua that you got for
yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know. No, and this is.
And I also did it with a couple of accounts. So that was a really good one.
My familia, sir, just send me
a man, this is crazy. The amount of like free money just from the Huawei airdrop is completely crazy. But we're almost at 90 people here. We should get this to 100. So chat, please make it happen. Help us to get to 100 live viewers. Especially because for Danko it's already almost 1 a.m. So I really appreciate that you're even taking the time so late. and here it's almost 7 p.m. It's still okay. But yeah, I mean, the airdrops on Cosmos are crazy. For those that also don't know, Osmosis started with an airdrop, right? So Osmo initially got distributed to Atom stakers and Atom holders. And there's so many more, and many more yet to come. FMOS is around the corner. That's going to be a big airdrop. They give away 40% of their Genesis supply to cosmonauts, but also Ethereum DeFi users, people that got wrecked in DeFi on Ethereum with fees, with exploits, with hacks, right? And all these things. Umi might do one. And then there's many others that are still going live. So you said Anchor is something that you're using, so people can check that out. Astroport, I have never used Astroport yet. I used Anchor a while ago, but then I just got really deep into Cosmos, Atom, and all these things. So I kind of like lost track of what's the hottest and latest there. Is there any alpha leak in the Terra ecosystem that's coming up where you're super excited about?
So, I mean, I did it like when Columbus 5 launched, so the mainnet upgrade into also IBC. I think it was in October or around about that time. I kind of have written down all the different protocols that are coming after that, and I have my degen class, right? So the ones that are really groundbreaking and new. So we had the Astroport, which is basically Curve with many more solutions on Terra on top, and we're seeing now the first stablecoins on Terra, which Osmosis is bringing also soon to Cosmos. And then we have Mars, which is a lending protocol, and you need it, right? It's wild that right now Terra has no free money market and is still driving in the second biggest in TVL from a DeFi perspective. This is coming soon live. Then you have Levana, which is kind of leverage token. So you have then 2x Atom in the future, maybe. So it's leverage itself or 3x Atom, so you can take it and basically trade it if you say it's going up or down in value. And then you have Prism, what I mentioned earlier, kind of the breaking down a token into a yield part and the principal part, which is, I think, completely wild. So you can then basically trade your staking rewards already in the future away and make money on them if you are more bullish on the price exposure. And then the last one, if you know maybe Alchemix on Ethereum, that's called Kinetic Money on Terra, which is coming probably in February. They're also airdropping, I think, 35% of their tokens to the people, which I'm a big fan of because they basically did the protocol all by themselves. They put their own money in there and made it. So they want to distribute this as much as possible. And they are also coming from Germany. So I muchly respect that. Or they are living right now in Germany, even if they're from the US. So those are the 5 I think everybody should be aware. And a lot of others, right? Nexus protocols right now doing amazing stuff. So if I haven't mentioned one of those, it's not kind of, I don't think that they're amazing. It's just those are the ones which I think are, from a technology perspective, super interesting.
That's interesting, yeah. I think that's another one. I don't know if you heard about it. Glow Yield, Glow. I think they're also, I don't know if they're fully live yet, but
they have Glow Lotto right now, which is already live, which there was this kind of one protocol on Ethereum, which it was a similar kind of, you deposit money, you never lose it, and just the yield is basically the lotto reward, which is paid out to the winner. That's what they're doing. But with Anchor protocol and the 20%, it's a little bit more juicy than on Ethereum, right? What you can win. But they're building an own ecosystem to onboard more the mainstream, right? So kind of this Glow Lotto is just the first step. Then soon they will have Glow Creators, maybe something interesting for you where you can create as a creator own tokens, social tokens, and then distribute it and take the power of Anchor to make money out of this. So there's a ton of kind of different stuff coming. That's why you and me, we focus on different ecosystem, right? Because if not, how the heck should you understand all of this, right?
It's true, man. And I mean, Terra has done really well. And obviously I think one of the like early success factors was also this partnership that they had with Chai, I think it's called, in Korea, which is the, I think, predominant payment mobile app there, and has, I don't know how many millions, but millions of users. So I think that was also very good timing to bootstrap the entire project. And Korea is also a very, very strong market. So that's pretty cool. You talked earlier a little bit about NFTs. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the NFT space.
I mean, I'm a DJ myself. I'm holding, if possible, all the different big NFT protocols on Terra. As said, those are so great communities and just amazing founders. And I talked to most of them, be it Galactic Puns, Luna Bulls, the Terrapins, and all the others. Terrabots were also pretty nice. And I think you're right now seeing again like a second spring for the NFTs on Terra, where the prices are again extremely going up. But as said, at the same time, I have a love and hate relationship with NFTs in terms of, I think they are groundbreaking from a technology, but at the same time, why do we, if we say we want to bootstrap a community, you have your Atom community, we have our Terra community, why do you then encapsulate people into basically capping out and just saying you need to have an NFT to be part of our community? Because if the NFT go up in price, you're basically shielding yourself away from people that maybe want to come in there, can contribute, but don't have the money. And then it would go into a golf club version, right? If you don't pay, you cannot go in there. And I think that's not the kind of the ethos that we all have here. And I think that's also not the ethos of those projects, but I think they're trying to find their way how to go in there. And I'm very proud that like Galactic Punks are doing an amazing work on the Terra ecosystem. They have an own validator now. They're trying to support with like different NFT bootstrapping mechanisms for other teams. So I think we're seeing there how it's possible, but it's just right now a developing piece and discovery. But one project which went a very different direction is Levana, right? I told you this is this leverage token protocol. Their protocol is not live, but they are live with an NFT series where they bootstrap their own pools. So you had a media shower where everybody could participate. It was kind of unlimited NFTs. And once in an hour you could bet, and then you could get different kind of rarity of meteors. You could crack them later on a few weeks. Then you had X in there, and then you had dust in there, and now you had to mix the X and the dust, and probably they will have dragons soon. So there is a whole kind of journey we're going with them, and that's the beauty of NFTs, right? This gamification. This is wild. On Cosmos, there are right now no NFTs, are they? Did I miss it?
Yeah, no, I like that you just dropped the term gamification. I think that's a big aspect that a lot of these NFT projects don't consider, to have also a storyline within their NFT platform or NFT project, or embed something in there. On Cosmos, there is the biggest one that's highly anticipated, and the team has done an amazing job in building this building the community before even launching, right? So what they did for months is just talk to everybody in the space, founders of Akash, of Region, of even the Cosmos founders, and many others in the space. And that's the Strange Clan. So I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're building different towns, and you have a lot of different characters, and it's really cool. The way they roll it out is also very slow and very mindful. They took a lot of time with the tokenomics, but they're about to go live with the YAP token. So I don't know if you've ever seen these guys in your chat that say YAWP, like YAP all the time. So these guys, they should start watching your channel then, man. But they're pretty active and really cool. And that's the big one. Then you have the Meta Rats, which is from a community guy, just like you and I. And he's also doing a great job in just getting his idea turned into reality. And I think that's something really cool. So that's also going to be interesting. But yeah, I agree, like what you said earlier, NFTs are more than just expensive JPEGs. It's just to prove digital ownership. And sure, maybe we're still way too early for this whole industry to mature. And you have the Logan Pauls and did you see the Irene Dao NFT collection? This Chinese girl that is selling her.
Is a man, right? Chinese man.
Is a man?
It's a man.
No,
it's a man. It's a man. I'm not kidding, dude.
Really?
You need to.
Okay.
It seems to be a man.
So Irene Dao, if you're watching this, congrats, you still killed it somehow. I don't know. But it's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's way more than that. Even if you talk about NFTs, you also talk about like any liquidity LP token on Uniswap is an NFT, right? Like people don't know that. It's not just to trade expensive JPEGs. It's so much more than that.
It's a data point. Right?
It's a data point. Yeah.
Data point, and the moment you say kind of that, because right now, if somebody kind of you and me, right? If we get kind of hijacked on the street, right, and they take away our phone, our money, they don't take it because our seed phrase is somewhere else, right? So we never lose it. But our
don't say that. I'm in Mexico. No, it's safe here. It's safe.
But your pictures and this kind of stuff on your phone, it's gone, right? Because but it could be also on a blockchain somewhere stored, really literally yours, and that would be all NFTs, right? If you watch Ready Player One and this stuff. And what I also then ask, and as said, I don't want to be here too bearish because I think everybody's just evolving and getting there. If somebody says this is the future of games and this is the future, and then I say you want to onboard millions but you make 10K, I mean, how does that work, right? So kind of is this game for 10K people only that kind of then need to give it the next day to somebody else? That doesn't work, right? That's why I like Levana, which was a limitless mint, right? Probably you played FIFA, you played Ultimate Team, right? Every card could be an NFT. There are so many cards out there; they have value. If FIFA would have an on and off ramp, people would get already nuts. They make millions. They would make more if they could sell their cards on the real market. That's all we need, right? Yeah.
Are you also? I mean, obviously, you made a video today about Osmosis. Everybody, make sure to check that one out. Also, really like the way you present it with your slides and everything. That's really like unique. Are you also like providing liquidity on different dexes or?
Yeah, I think farming has become a little bit a negative connotation also in DeFi in terms of this mercenary liquidity. But I like to say this term of eco-farmer in terms of I try to provide liquidity in terms of I want to take get the tokens for my opportunity cost that I provide my liquidity, right? And in this case, I don't need to pay for them, and I just can decide if I hold them yes or no. And usually I try to just hold those tokens like Osmosis, right? I mean, this was a good play long term. I was farming there, I was getting Osmo, and this was a good decision. And so, yes, I'm doing this. I mean, on Astroport, I'm having a ton of different positions. Before that, on TerraSwap, I had a lot of positions. Then on Solana, I'm having a lot of different LPs. What else? I mean, right now, I said DeFi Kingdom, so Harmony. I started with Phantom now, with Tomb myself, so providing liquidity there. Osmosis is for sure a big one. And Torchain, I'm starting now to dive into Torchain because they have soon those SINs live, where you can then also get yield on Bitcoin, which I think is pretty interesting, right? You could already now provide liquidity on Torchain with Bitcoin and Rune, and you have this impermanent loss protection, but because of tax reasons, right, in Germany, I don't want to pool my Bitcoin and Rune now in because of this year, right? I need to wait to be tax-free, that bullshit. We do not need to talk about this. So yeah, but I think one of my biggest positions in providing liquidity is Osmosis, right? Probably like for you, right?
Yeah, by far. Are you still using Ethereum DeFi at all, or are you completely out?
So I used Ethereum last time because of Tor Starter, right? So this is one of the launch platforms from Torchain, which started on Ethereum. They are now moving off because it makes no sense. I think that was one of the few things, right? I bought back then a few own because I also say that I want to test those kind of stuff. And I think I need to buy these things and put real money in to really understand also maybe the hype behind this. So I just have a small bag of own that is just lying there for ages now. Yes, the price movement was not so good in the last months, but I don't care. That's all. The rest is like, I mean, who should use that, right? It's completely wild. When have you used the last time Ethereum?
Yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of ERC20 tokens, but I don't even want to open my MetaMask and like see. I did it like a few days ago to make a swap. It cost me like $200 or something, which is nuts. So yeah, it's at this point like retail, but also like everyone who's already been around for years and now already got familiar with Solana or Cosmos especially, they're all priced out. And why would I use, very slow and very expensive DeFi products if I can just do it literally for free on Osmosis, for example, or even on Terra DeFi, right? There's so many things there. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time that these newer protocols gain traction, prove the technology, get the liquidity up, and then have more, like, less slippage and all these things that you're used in Ethereum DeFi. That's probably the biggest reason why Ethereum is still so big, is because they have the most users, they have the deepest liquidity in order books and whatnot. So yeah, probably that's the main reason. One thing I also wanted to talk about, I think you mentioned this also in your video today on Osmosis, is the superfluid staking feature that is coming. Sunny promised to deliver it by the end of February, otherwise he has to shave his head. So bald, that's going to be funny. What do you think about it? Maybe you can explain it, or I can also explain it, what it actually means, because I think this could potentially be a big game changer in providing liquidity.
Yeah, I'm happy to listen to you, because you talked to Sunny probably way more time, so you have more insights. I was happy to kind of get to know him quickly in Lisbon on the Solana conference. I'll listen to you, right? And I'm happy to add my thoughts. I think it's amazing and powerful.
Yeah, so the premise, like how you can liquefy staked assets, is basically, until now, that you delegate your coins to a node, and then you get a representation of that staked asset, and then you can use it in DeFi, right? You can provide liquidity with it, you can swap it, you can do whatever you want, right? You can just reuse it. But superfluid staking is basically the exact opposite, because instead of first liquefying your staked asset, you first use it in DeFi and then you stake it. So basically you allow the protocol to accept another form of collateral to be staked. So it's just a flip in the roles. And I think that's something that, if it plays out as Sunny envisions it, you obviously have to have an adjustment of the impermanent loss all the time, right? Because the underlying collateral, which is a liquidity token, rebalances itself. So there has to be a kind of like algorithmic adjustment all the time. But technically you could say, hey, I provide liquidity for Atom Osmo, and now I can deposit that LP token on the Osmosis chain, and then through IBC, I could simultaneously also deposit or stake it to the Cosmos Hub chain, right? So you're also earning these double staking rewards natively on chain. And the big reason why Sunny wants to build that is because of the security, right? Because now you're incentivized to provide security and further decentralize the chain through this model. And I'm really, really pumped for that. And I think this could be really a big next era for DeFi in general, but especially for Cosmos DeFi.
It's a huge game changer, I think. I mean, yes, in Cosmos, you're way more concerned with security, because you're literally, every token is the native token of a chain. You don't have that on other kind of chains where you have a ton of protocols. But let's be honest, what is happening, as you said, on other protocols and chains, is that basically we are tricking the system and we are creating a liquid staking token. Like if you stake Luna, you'll probably get like B Luna in some versions, or you have N Luna, so those different variations. And then you can, as said, provide liquidity. The big problem is, if you then provide liquidity and you have impermanent loss, or basically just a rebalancing of the pool, if you want to get back your token, then your stake token, you also never get it, because you would need to really have the same price again to get it, right? So if I kind of use liquid staking solutions, I'm never using them in a pool, because it's just like suicide, right? A suicide mission if you want to hold the token. So the only thing I can do is lend it out, or use it in another kind of staked version, whatever that might be. So we saw that on Terra just a few months ago, when Nexus launched and their own N Luna version. So you had to bring your B Luna. I'm not going into details. So just say it's a liquid staking variation. A lot of people said, oh, take a look at the N Luna Psy pool, which is their own token of Nexus. It was like 400% APR. And I kind of launched my video a day later, because for me, it was important. So many people got burned because the token was moving so fast up in price, they lost a ton of Luna, right? I mean, if they would have stayed in the pool, it would just have turned out over time. But that's wild. And now with what Sunny is envisioning, it's basically changing the tables, but for the way better for us. We can provide liquidity, and as a benefit, we can decide to stake, to take the benefit of security, literally for really everything on Cosmos. But it's also better for us as a user, right? Because we do not need to think of, can I even get back my funds? No, you just have right now the staked funds that you have literally in your pool. This is wild. This is beautiful. Kudos. So I'm taking my Glock now. I'm putting it end of February. I don't care. I want to see it.
Yeah, me too. I'll have, by the way, I'll have Sunny on the channel back on Friday. So in 3 days, 3.5, 4 days, to talk about Ion, which is another asset that was natively baked into the Osmosis protocol. And
did you dump it? Did you dump it today?
No, man, like that was a crazy, I don't know how much, I didn't even look at the stats, but like somebody dumped the price in one transaction, like by half, right?
Mhm.
Holy shit, that was a lot. I bought a couple of Ions months ago, and I took some profits of it, but yeah, not that much to move the price so much.
I mean, I saw the governance proposal, right? So I bought just a little bit because I think I like the idea and I trust the team. I trust Sunny. I think they're doing a lot of great stuff. So I bought before it really went up because I saw the governance proposal. I bought it. So I'm still in a plus, but it was like, hey, I did the best move ever in a day. It doubled. And then like a day later, I said, okay, I don't tell anybody about this.
But yeah, it's back at 15,600 right now. So yeah. Slightly recovered. But yeah, it was at like $2,000 forever. And then I just saw, the communities there. And when I learned that 16,000 of the 21,000 ions have never been claimed from the airdrop, and the clawback came closer, that they would take these 16,000 ions and put them back into the community treasury, which means only 5,000 ions are in circulation, with a price of $10,000 would mean there's only a $50 million market cap. I'm like, man, this is pretty low for such a big community, right? But we'll see how it goes from here. This is like absolute deepest DeFi degen jungle that we're talking about right now. So I don't recommend anybody to start with that. But it's an interesting experiment, and looking forward to see where that goes. We're almost, man, time is absolutely flying. We're almost at an hour already, so that's crazy. Maybe we can do some questions here. I'll try to get some Terra questions, since you're the absolute G in that space. Roy is asking, I want to start explore Terra after, I guess, Cosmos. What are your favorite dexes out there? What should I look for?
So I mean, the classic one was TerraSwap, but it had also no own token. Right, it was really the classic one, which was built so that Mirror protocol could work. You can still provide liquidity there. I'm usually doing every 2 weeks a video to see the APRs. But now the new DEX, which is out there, is Astroport, which is like curve tokenomics, but it's still work in progress. It's out there, but it still has a lot to deliver in the next weeks. And then we have Loop, which is a community, right? So you can write articles, and then you can earn tokens, and then there's also DEX behind it. Those are the three. I guess long term, it seems Astroport is just pretty interesting, but if you want to provide liquidity, check out alpha.defi.fund. There you have all the different dashboards. That's the guy whom I'm working together to also provide now the Osmos kind of figures there, and there you can hopefully make a good decision for yourself.
Awesome. Blux is saying the two nicest and most helpful guys in crypto. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Let's see what else we have. Someone was asking about Luna. Yeah. How can I earn holding Luna? Maybe you can just recap, because we already talked about it a lot, but just a recap.
I mean, the quickest one, just you can stake it, like also you know it from Cosmos, right? You have the Terra station, you can download it and stake it there. The problem is, or the beauty is, you literally get what the validators are validating, and you can pay in stablecoins also in Luna. So you're getting a bunch of stablecoins on your Luna if you stake it. So you can go on Stader, for example, because they are selling all your stablecoins and auto-compounding it into Luna. So it's Stader Labs that you can find out, and there it should be right now, I think around 8 to 10%. And they have also a liquid staking token until we have superfluid staking on Terra. It's an alternative. It's called Luna X. And then in the future, in the lending market, you can use it to borrow against it.
We'll also cover this a little bit. Are there any further upcoming Luna airdrops?
A ton, but getting less and less, right? People are seeing that it's not the way forward. A lot of people just dumping them, unfortunately. So if you stake, you're getting qualified for that. If you're staking with Stader, you're also getting qualified for that. But it seems that it's getting less and less relevant, and people are coming up with more sophisticated launch mechanisms, lock drops, and this kind of stuff. Mango markets, those are all the new mechanisms, so less and less. And don't expect this Cosmos craziness on Terra anymore for airdrops. You need to stay on Cosmos. No, it is what it is, right? Those airdrops, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But also a lot of people, they're just trying to chase these airdrops. But these airdrops, like you explained it earlier, they are there to like onboard users, right? Not to make us as the community rich. Sure, we're all happy if we get thousands of dollars in free money, but still, it's kind of like an incentive to get people engaged and start using the protocol. And I think that's also what I always recommend, like, the Sagas airdrop just came, like, don't just dump it and do something else. Maybe take this as the initial capital to like play around with the platform once it's fully live. And I think that's something that people should always consider.
It's a good feedback, because also which protocol which launched had kind of a token which kind of performed lower than at launch, right? So usually they go up in time. So right now you get a ton of staking rewards for staking, right? 100% also for stars or LP. Just use it as a stake. No financial advice, sorry for that, but it just makes sense, right? In terms of you get it for free. We are looking for assets to work in DeFi. You get assets for free, then use them, right? To work with them. That seems to be a way forward.
Gonzalo's asking, what are your thoughts about state?
I think it's Stater, right? So
Stater?
the thing I just mentioned for the kind of auto compounding staking, it's an amazing protocol because they're going long-term cross-chain, right? They will probably come to Cosmos. I think that's on their roadmap, to Solana. So it will help also to onboard institutions more and more, because staking is the easiest way to get yield, right, on all the different tokens.
CryptoRig is asking whether liquid staking will bypass the unbonding time. I can take that first for the Cosmos side of things. So right now there's two ways how you can have liquid staked atoms, for example. Actually, only one is live, which is P-Stake from the Persistence team. There you actually have to unbond your atoms and then stake them through P-Stake, which then in the back end splits your delegation up to different nodes. There's like a very carefully selected amount of nodes that they choose, and then based on uptime and all these kind of things. So this does not bypass unbonding time. But with the upcoming Theta upgrade on the Cosmos Hub, Zaki Manian proposed this, a way that you don't have to unbond your atoms, but you can still use them in liquid staking. So that's on the Cosmos side. How is it on the Terra side?
So you have a ton of different Luna. I just posted last time a tweet with all the different alphabet of Luna, right? We have B Luna, we soon have C Luna, we have N Luna, we soon have M Luna, we have P Luna soon, Y Luna soon, Luna X. So the amount of liquid tokens is amazing. But it's always the same. I see this question more and more in my comments. It's like, dude, I still need to unstack the 21 days on Terra, right? When I say, yes, but you can just sell your liquid token on the market, right? So somebody else basically takes over your staking period, right? So if you truly want to unstake it, do it, but just sell it on the market if you want to get rid of it. Because I think a lot of people still have in mind, oh, but my tokens are bonded with the protocol. Well, it doesn't matter. It's permissionless, right? It's the tokens in the pool. If you come back with your ticket of your liquid token, you get it. If not, just sell it on the market. There are pools for that setup, right? And get rid of them if you want to. So yes, you can bypass the unbonding time, but it's a tax. How do you call it? A tax event, depending on your depending on your country. Because if you take a liquid token for the tax department, it's basically saying, well, you sold one token and took another one, right? So stuff that people should be aware of. Then it depends which kind of liquid token. It's complicated.
That's another seminar. I think in Germany if your coin generates yield, this 1 year how you call it, like
holding period.
Holding period. Thank you. Extends to 10 years. That's how it is, right? Officially, but I don't know.
I mean, I get a lot of questions, right? Hey, dude, you're in Germany, right? Tell me, how do you do taxes? And I said, there's tax software out there that I'm looking forward to use, like Coinly. And others that also people I'm in contact with. I'm hope that to do it to my best knowledge, but let's be honest, nobody knows how to do it, right? Nobody knows it.
What I definitely recommend is people to start using tools like coin tracking. I don't know if Coinly is doing something similar, but where you can just track your trades and it will create a taxable report. I think Coin Tracking, they are actually German, so I think it's even like better if you're in Germany, but I'm not 100% sure. But this just allows you to like keep track of everything, and it will automatically generate a tax report. And then with your best knowledge and with your best, you know, I don't know, conscious, you just file a tax report and see what they say, right? And if you're not hiding anything, I think you're fine. Just, you know, consult somebody who is a tax advisor, a professional, not a random YouTuber like Danku or I. And yeah, just do that.
Let me give there a quick shout out, because also maybe interesting for the Atom people and Osmosis. There is one page which is called stake.tax. You can download there all your transactions and directly upload them from there to coinly.io, and then it's generating this automated report. And they are downloading it for Solana, Luna, Atom, and Osmosis. So big shout out to them. It's just a community member who's putting in his personal time. And that's what I will use, because, hey, Solana, Luna, Atom, Osmosis sounds like perfectly for me, right? So that's what I'm using.
That's awesome.
Stake.tax with A, because Roy
with A.
Yeah,
Stake.tax. Yeah. All right. I think we can leave it here. We're already above an hour. I think this was really valuable. People in Europe, sorry guys, you're hopefully watching the replay tomorrow, but this was really cool. So again, make sure to follow Danku on YouTube, on Twitter as well. Lots of alpha there, lots of like useful guides to use Terra DeFi, and in the future maybe also more Cosmos DeFi. Osmosis, you're on the train early on, so looking forward to see more there. And yeah, we'll hopefully do this more often, also with other content creators. I have this idea to like bring some of us more together. You mentioned Taiki earlier. I was also on his channel once. Really nice guy. So yeah, thanks for coming on, and yeah, we'll definitely stay in touch.
Thank you, sir. Enjoyed it a lot, and thank you for the invitation.
Awesome. Yeah, and thanks everybody for tuning in, and for the questions and engagement. Share this video with your friends, but only people that you like, because not everyone should have access to this information if they don't like you. So only share with people that you personally like. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.